Hey, how's it going? This is Tex again, and this is a little bonus to go in with something that I put in another video when I was talking about the three Bs and what that means. As I specialize in personality disorders, a long time ago, someone had asked me, and I got to thinking about it. A lot of times you sort of feel sometimes people's situations around you, and there's a feeling that I get a lot of times when I work with certain personality disorders. It comes out, and I explain it to those that I work with or that I've supervised or work with in internships, is the three Bs. So they go, what are the three Bs? So the three Bs are how I initially get a feeling just from the start of a conversation that there's a good chance that the person has something serious going on. It's usually a serious personality disorder. Um, Amongst the personality disorders, the cluster B personality disorders is usually the ones that have a truly lot of upsetting stuff going on. And that's of course, narcissist, borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. If you want more on that, jump into DSM. All those are lined up. So here we're back to the idea, though, of Texas 3Bs. So the three Bs, and this is not meant to upset or frustrate anyone. It's meant to more or less give you a warning in your own brain that maybe you need to tread carefully here. I name them as bleeding, blaming, and boundary crossing. Now, bleeders or bleeding is when, and I'm sure at some point in time, a lot of people have been near somebody that just to be near them can be painful. And I don't mean that like someone's physically trying to hurt you. I mean, like you feel yourself being pulled down. You feel the real, tug on you that drags you down. Sometimes you feel like it's a loss of energy. Sometimes you can actually feel physical pain in your own body. Now, you may be picking this up because of your own previous experiences. You may be picking this up because of something that's happened to you in the past with family or friends. But for some reason, being around this person, you can feel the energy start to just pull out of you, or you start to feel really down or sad. Now, that alone in itself could mean that the other person is depressed or sad or upset, and you're feeding off of their emotions. Very easy to find. When the other person's not being emotional, though, and they're just having a conversation with you and you feel that going on, paying attention to yourself and your body lets you know it's starting to happen. The other one is conversation with blame. When someone blames everything that's going on in their life on everybody else, and at no point in time take any responsibility for the things that are happening, you have to ask yourself, now, is this realistic? In other words, this person blames everything on someone else. And to me, being able to admit that you screwed up is a part of life. It's how you learn and get over it. For some people, though, blaming others is a way of getting the blame off themselves so that they either don't feel bad, it's a defense mechanism, but you see the blame flying. And so everything is somebody else's fault, or everything is somebody else's fault. I failed the test because the teacher was being mean. It had nothing to do with me studying. It had to do with them. I didn't get that pay raise because they weren't being fair to me. They're all being bad. They didn't give me an opportunity. I got into that fight because the other person was being mean or rude or something like that. But everything in that person's world is somebody else's fault. Then there's the boundary crossers. Now, I go to this because when I was working with a set of kids and people a long time ago, I was having to teach them the bubble, and if you've ever been with some people, you realize that they have different bubbles, and depending on your culture and where you're from, how close you can come to somebody and be comfortable, the physical bubble is different. And then there's also the boundaries that your bubble as far as personal stuff. I mean, you walk up to some people and they're having a conversation, and the conversation immediately turns to things that you probably shouldn't be talking to with an acquaintance or someone you don't even know, like their sex life or, the drama things that are going on in their life, or things that you would consider to be pretty personal. Or they ask you questions. They just go right in and ask you, like, oh, why aren't you doing this in your personal life? And, why don't you have children? And what's things that, it's like, wait a minute, you don't know me and you're diving into these questions that I would think would be reserved for someone who's more of a close friend. In other words, they don't see the boundaries. When you have all three of those occurring, you have the bleeding, the blaming, and the boundary crossing. Heads up. Odds are there's a good chance that that person has something along the lines of a personality disorder. Maybe not always, but I just go with the odds. And so far, every time it's been that case with me. And those are the first signal that I need to start digging a little deeper into what's going on to find out if this is not just a case of, maybe just depression or anxiety or depression and anxiety, but an actual personality disorder that lends itself to things. Personality disorders are those long-term effects from way back when you were younger that are part of who you are. You can change them. You can make things different. You can be in remission, just like you can be, the depression you have. It can go into a state where, it's not so bad, then you don't have it. It doesn't occur that much. It doesn't occur at all. And it's a thing that you have to be careful of, but it's not something you currently have. You don't currently have major depressive disorder. It's in full remission. In the same way as you can work through these other things, it just takes a lot longer because something that is ingrained in your personality travels with you through time. And a lot of times these things in personality start to not just affect you, but they affect the people around you. And again, that's why I said those 3 B's are my way of tipping me off that I need to dig a little bit deeper and find out what's going on and accept that maybe this just isn't because of one incident or one problem, even one traumatic event, that maybe this is something that is long-term that has came forward and it's going to take a little longer to work through this. So those are the 3 B's for those that you wanted to know. I've been asked that and I pass that on to people as my way of knowing that I need to dig a little bit deeper in this and find out what's going on. Okay, so y'all have a good day. I hope you enjoyed the bonus. You take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.